Have me on this thing when you're through.
This is the talk show that takes a no-holds-barred approach to politics, where truth and integrity are the standard and the Constitution honored. From Renaissance Studios, this is Champion News Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to another great edition of Champion News Talk Radio. We are brought to you by championnews.net, and we are your choice for the conservative voice. This is Carol Parisi. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself have Mr. Bill Zettler joining us today for our show. And Bill Zettler is the author of the Illinois Pension Scam book. You can get this book on championnews.net, and it has everything you want to know about the real problem for Illinois, and that's our pension system. Good morning, Jack. How are you today?
Well, we've got a great guy on here. I call him the Z-Man, Bill Zettler. And why am I so enthused? Well, you notice everybody's excited about the pension plan and all of the troubles. Illinois is not only crooked, but it is the most in debt of any of the 50 states. We're worse than California. So, you know, we're pretty tough people here in Illinois, and we've run to the top of the heap of crooks and busted people. So that's where we're at. And how'd we get there? Largely through the teachers union, the IEA. Isn't it funny? I'm blaming them for making the state of Illinois both crooked and broke, all by a teachers union.
Are you saying the teachers are crooked,
Oh, wait a minute.
Jack?
It doesn't say teachers. It says IEA. That's the Illinois Education Association. Now, that's a branch of the NEA, which Forbes magazine way back in '93, I can show you the articles, same crap was going on back then, but Forbes called the NEA the National Extortion Association. I'm not calling them that they got a felony here, but they really do stink, and they've stunk for a long time. If you go way back into the NEA, there was a guy president of it that was a little bit too candid, and he gave away the play. And he said that what their job was in the NEA in teaching children. See, the NEA had once been like the AFT, a union for working people, teachers. But it turned into a political thing of a very socialist stripe. And what this guy that was president of it long ago said, it's our duty to prepare these the students for the new kind of government where they will accept what he was talking about is socialism. It ties in with the old Russian thing with the communists. Do you know a little Latin phrase? Tabula rasa? Well, what that means is a blank blackboard. And their theme was expressed long ago before Obama came along. He's selling the same theme is they want to prepare the people to become such good citizens that you don't even need government, that the human citizen is a blank blackboard, the tabula rasa, which socialism will write on to have the man that's so good you don't need government.
Hey, I got to ask you, Jack, I got to jump in real quick, because the state that Illinois is in today, you've been saying for decades, we're going to be bankrupt. We're becoming the most corrupt state in the union. So I guess what I'm asking is, how does it feel today to see that everything that you predicted and the direction that Illinois was going in has come to fruition? How does that make you feel to see that what you saw 15 years ago is...
Listen, Mike, it's a nice question, and maybe you're just throwing it at me, but I'm going to be 90 years old this summer, and I went through all this crap back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, before Reagan came around and straightened things out. I was one of those people that they were talking about, well, we don't want to have them around. They're radicals.
Picnic.
Huh?
You were a skunk at a picnic. You were a radical.
Well, back in 1940, I started attending I lived in Arlington Heights in District 59, and they wanted to go for a tax raise. I was head of a homeowners group. And so I invited the two top guys of the district to come and explain to us people in the homeowner why they should do it. And I just thought it was my duty to have them come out and explain that. I was not anti at that time. They made me anti District 59 that day, that night, because I went over and I got their stinking financial statement, and I read it for about 2 hours that afternoon, and I started asking them questions that night.
I bet they love that, huh?
Oh, they didn't. Listen, they were the president and the superintendent, both of them were there, and neither one of them could answer ordinary questions. I mean, I'm no accountant, but I can read a profit and loss sheet, and I started asking them questions off of, there's one page, they got all of the 5 things that the income and the outgo from the education and the buildings and maintenance and all that stuff. They're in 5 accounts. And I'm no big expert on finance, but that thing isn't hard to read. It's kind of bozo buckets. Put the stuff, yeah, it's like a joke. You just get the money to go in the right basket and things are okay for you. It's simplified stuff.
And the money comes from the homeowners and taxpayers.
Those guys didn't answer those things. I'm going to roll along here now very well. And they got a little aggravated with me, and they got arrogant, and they told me that I couldn't, if I was not one of their group, I couldn't possibly understand the intricacies of education.
Of course.
Okay, well, so what I got was arrogance and all from those two, and it started me looking into it. Along the way, I published the salaries and pensions of all the teachers and of all of the administrators in the state of Illinois. Did that about 15 years ago.
And that's available on championnews.net.
Because in the course of looking at District 59, I called back on a reporter that reported what the salaries were. And I told her, the salaries you reported are actually much higher. She says, well, they have to be right. I called the administration. And I said, well, I'm not going to call anybody a liar here, but they do prevaricate. And the only place you're going to find the right ones is at the state level, at the TRS, Teachers Retirement System. They do tell the truth in that compilation. She says, I don't have time for that kind of research. Okay, so that's when I put it on the internet. I got a guy to take that whole bundle of information about the state of Illinois and make it readable, and I put it on it. Bill here, now I get down to Bill. He found that somehow. We published it on our Family Taxpayer Foundation and later on Champion News. And Bill found that thing, and he started writing articles. He must have written 50 or more articles just on his own energy, he analyzed the data on salaries and pensions. And it was better than I could tell the story. And so eventually, I started paying you for the articles, and eventually I said, why don't you make a book out of that? And that's this Illinois pension scam book that Bill wrote. I wrote the frontispiece for it because I really endorse what this man put in there. Listen, he's got 50 chapters here, and every one of them is a short story. And it's well worth reading. And Bill's a genius, and I'm going to end in my rant here with saying that nobody was talking about pensions back then. Now the whole country's talking about it. We lit the fuse right here in Illinois, and we did it with the great information that Bill Zettler has been putting out that shows you how stinking ridiculous what's going on, that has provided the money to not only bankrupt the state, provided the money to bankrupt us, but also the money to turn the whole state of Illinois crooked.
Now, Bill,
listen, the IEA, I'm not accusing them of a felony. It's worse than that. To just have to be a law that would send them all to jail for that. Bill, I'm going to shut up here, but you're the voice of light and wisdom in this thing.
Bill, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, did you go on to Family Taxpayers and get this information? What got you interested in these Illinois teachers' pensions? Did you know Jack before? How did this all come together?
No, I didn't know Jack. In fact, I didn't know Jack for the first 4 or 5 years I was writing for him.
So you were writing, and you didn't even, what got you interested in these pensions?
My neighbor was a retired teacher and a retired administrator, and I found out accidentally what his pension was, and I couldn't believe how high it was, 6 figures. So I started asking around and found out nobody would talk to me about it. And finally I went to the state, and this was shortly after the FOIA law was passed. Before the FOIA law, you couldn't get this information. It was
How many years
impossible.
ago was that
FOIA's
about?
freedom of information.
2005 was the FOIA law.
Okay.
So prior to that, they wouldn't give you anything. Nothing.
Okay.
Nada.
Hey, Bill.
Yep.
Not for nothing, but as a pension expert, the last thing you want to do on a radio program is say you don't know Jack.
I think I said I didn't know Jack. Now I know Jack.
I just had to throw that in there.
Hey, a little humor for a Sunday morning. You know what, Bill? We're going to be going to break here very shortly. But when we come back, I want to hear what the biggest problem with our pension system is and some solutions and how we're going to fix and remedy this to save our state. We'll be back after the break.